Hi, this is James O. Joseph Jr., the unintentional psychic. Have you ever been called out on your psychic abilities and just didn't know what to do with it? Well, here's a story time. So, in my early 20s, I believe I was about 20 years old, I had a tendency to go to psychic fairs. I was going to college in Michigan at the time, and on the weekends, I would just do my own thing. So, I found a psychic fair close to the dorms, and I went. And I'm just like, awesome, I'm gonna have fun. For some reason, I've always been drawn to all that stuff. Never once thought I was psychic in any way of any sort. But I just loved the energy, but didn't even realize that's what I loved about it. So, long story short, I went. And I had, 20 bucks burning in my pocket. So I go to the psychic fair and I find this lady. She must have been in her 70s, early 80s, and her name was Elaine Regis. Don't know anything about her, never looked her up afterwards. But she did these guide spirit portraits. I'm like, cool, that sounds like fun. Let's do that. So I sign up and I wait for my turn, and I sit with her, and she's like, okay, so I need to hold your hands so I can really get the energy, and I'll channel through your guide spirits, one of your major guide spirits. And I'm like, great, okay. And so literally, we hold hands, no joke, for maybe 5 seconds, and this lady is thrown back, releases from me, thrown back, falls on the floor, on her bottom, and is just like shaken. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, and this lady gets up, and I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just like in my head thinking, this is so not real. Like, is she playing a game here? And so she shakes it off, tries to act like nothing happened. And then she sits down and we're talking, and she's drawing. She's drawing this guide spirit, and she does a beautiful portrait of somewhat alien-looking guide spirit with an infinity sign, very feminine looking. She puts a name down at the bottom, and then as I get ready to leave, she reaches over and she grabs my hands, and she's like, "You could be doing this right now. You could be creating guide spirit portraits right now." She's like, you could be doing something big with these abilities. And I just shut down, freaked out. I was 20 years old. I was in school for architecture, and it just was like, back in the early 90s, psychic anything was not what you wanted to do. It wasn't the plan. It wasn't the plan for me. I never expected that. But that was actually one of the very first times I was professionally called out for a skill that I didn't even realize that I had. So it was just so surreal. I didn't tell anybody about it. I still have the drawing. And the crazy thing is, 2-3 weeks after that, from that time of interacting with her, I had these weird images of other people in my head. Never thought twice about it, but drew them out. One was a monk who had the top of his hair missing, and I didn't get his name. But then I also had this white panther that I know the name is Asmar. So I drew these up because my background's arty. I went to school for architecture, interior art, and graphic design. So but yeah, that was really freaky. Have you ever had an experience like that where somebody sort of calls you out on these psychic abilities that you don't even realize you have? And because, it's not the norm, or it's not acceptable, or it's weird, you just sort of bypassed it or paused it or just couldn't deal with it. For a long time after that, I paused. I didn't do anything with any of that stuff for years and years. I even stepped away from going to psychic fairs for quite a while. So once again, I'm James O. Joseph Jr., the unintentional psychic. And I hope this story somehow might be a similar experience in some weird way for you, or shake the cobwebs out of your memory on a couple weird things that have happened, and allows you to realize that it's not that unusual, weird, or unique, and that you could step forward also with your abilities.